Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're gonna step inside a place that honestly feels like a quiet little refuge from the world. We're diving into Kim Ho-yeon's The Second Chance Convenience Store. It's the follow-up to a book that so many of us fell in love with, and I'm really excited to get into what makes this one tick. You know those days, right? When the world just feels like a little too much, and you just want to curl up with something gentle. A story that just gets it. While for a lot of people, this book has been exactly that. It's pretty much the definition of a comfort read, and we're gonna find out if it really delivers that warm hug we're all looking for sometimes. All right, so what's the word on the streets? When a sequel is this big, you know people are gonna have opinions. So let's look at both sides of the coin here. What people loved, and maybe what some folks felt was missing. And it really is a tale of two reactions. I mean, on one hand, you've got readers who just found so much comfort and warmth in these pages. But then, on the other hand, some felt like it didn't quite capture that same magic from the first time around. To really get a feel for it, we gotta look at both. So let's start with the good stuff. The people who loved this book really loved it. And they all kind of say the same thing. They adored its gentle, cozy vibe. See, this story isn't about huge, dramatic plot twists. Nope. It's all about the small, everyday moments, the quiet kindnesses between the staff and the customers. People really connected with these characters, who are, flawed and real, and they loved watching them grow. For a lot of fans, it felt like a perfect continuation of that beautiful feeling from the first book. But like I said, it wasn't a perfect 10 for everyone. Some readers felt that the initial spark, that feeling of discovering something new, wasn't quite there this time. A few common criticisms were that there were maybe too many new side characters who we don't get to know very well, and that kind of watered things down. Some found the pacing a bit slow, or that setting it during the COVID-19 pandemic kind of broke that timeless, cozy feel. But the biggest one, the one you hear over and over, people really miss some of their favorite characters from the first book, and we're definitely going to come back to that. Okay, so let's set the reviews aside for a minute. Beyond the buzz, what is this book really about? Let's get to the true heart of the store. Because this story's real power isn't in the plot, it's in the themes it explores. First up, and this is a huge one, is dignity. The book does this brilliant job of showing that there is so much worth in all kinds of work, especially the jobs that our society tends to look down on. Working a night shift, stocking shelves, just being kind to a customer. These things are treated with real importance and meaning. It's such a powerful reminder about the value of just showing up and doing the work. And right alongside dignity, you have compassion. So much of what happens in this story is just about small acts of kindness. It's about one person taking the time to truly see another person, to be patient with them, and to notice what they're going through without any judgment. The store itself becomes this little hub for human connection, where a simple bit of empathy can completely change the course of someone's day. And when you put dignity and compassion together, what do you get? You get belonging. The main character, Doko, starts off as a total outsider, right? He's on the margins of society, and his whole journey is about slowly, carefully finding his way back into a community. The convenience store, this little place that's open all night, it becomes this safe harbor for people who feel like they're on the fringes. It's a place where they can just be and belong. Okay, so this brings us to the big one. The question that's on every fan's mind. How does the sequel actually stack up against the original? I mean, when that first book is so universally loved, the follow-up has some pretty big shoes to fill. Let's tackle that head on. This quote from a reader review just hits the nail on the head. This is the core issue for a lot of people. If you fell in love with that original cast of characters, not seeing them as much was a real letdown. It left this little hole that, for some, the new characters just couldn't quite fill, and that's totally understandable. But there might be a very deliberate reason for that. It feels like the author intentionally shifted the focus here. Think about it. Part 1 was all about the mystery of Doko. Who is this guy? Part 2 is about his integration, what happens after he's found his place. So with that shift in the story, it actually makes sense that some of the old characters would take a step back as his world changes. It's probably less of an accident and more of a choice. So where do I personally land on it? If I had to put a number on it, I'd probably give it a solid 3.5 out of 5. Does it have that same lightning in a bottle feel as the first one? Maybe not quite. But, and this is a big but, it is still a deeply moving and worthwhile read all on its own. Which leads us to the final verdict. With all of that said, is The Second Chance Convenience Store the right book for you to pick up next? Let's break it down, nice and simple. You should absolutely read this book if you love quiet stories that are all about the characters, if you appreciate a little bit of social realism, and if you're just looking for something comforting and full of empathy. This is your book. Now, you might want to skip it if you need a really fast pace and lots of big plot twists to stay engaged. And, this is the important one, if you are only reading it to get the whole gang from part 1 back together, you might end up a little disappointed. In the end, the book kind of leaves us with this one central question. And I think its quiet, hopeful answer is, yeah, it can. It suggests that second chances don't always come from these huge, life-changing events. Sometimes they're found in the steady, quiet rhythm of a night shift, in a hot meal on a cold night, and in the simple, incredible act of just being seen by another human being. But hey, that's just my take on it. Got any thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions or favorite moments in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. Pin, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more reviews and content on the latest movies, dramas, and books. Bell, and hit the bell icon so you won't miss any new updates.